Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space and another real-time video. As always, I mix these in amongst my sped up voiced over videos. I do my Sunday live streams, which are live at 2 p.m. Central on Sundays. And then every once in a while, I'll do a bonus live stream and then videos like this where it's all filmed in real time. So I was inspired by a card that I saw Carly Minner post on Instagram, and I immediately had to drop what I was doing so I could sit down and make this because my brain was like, ooh, I have this set, I have this, let's do it. So I'm going to use my literal oldie but goodie favorite, Simon Says Stamp's Beautiful Flowers set. If you're new here, hello, welcome to the chaos. I have a playlist using this set multiple dozens of times. I'll have that playlist linked in the end screen at the end of the video. One of my favorite stamp sets, used it a bajillion ways, and that's what we're going to use today. So that, along with everything else I used, will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, keeps the channel going, enables me to keep bringing out content. So let's get into making the card. Okay, so we are going to start with the insides of the cards because I'm going to stamp this huge flower on the outside, but I want to use black ink for that. And to save me from having to do a bunch of cleaning in between, I'm going to stamp the insides of the cards first. And because what I'm doing is most likely sort of clean and simple, I'm going to line this up like right there. Right there works, which also means I'm just going to take a little piece of just washi tape. This will just give me a little visual of where to line up the second card front. And then I'm just going to stamp this like that. Like that. So, and as you can tell, my stamp is incredibly stained. It is old. I've used it a million times. And it stamps like a dream because the more you use your stamps, the better they stamp. And staining is okay. Good quality photopolymer does stain, and it's okay. It's okay. Love. That was SEAFOAM. Yeah, SEAFOAM Pawsitively Saturated Ink. Just a light aqua color ink because my plan is to use a darker shade on a different portion of these cards. So ink it up again. Perfection. And since I stamped this with just the pale SEAFOAM ink, I can just wipe this for now with a baby wipe to remove that excess ink. I can do the same thing on my grip mat here. So then, remove that excess moisture. Here, I'll use my cloth for that. Okay, and without moving the stamp or anything, I'm going to flip the card base around, line it up in the same spot. So now we're going to stamp the front of the card. And to do that, I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, my just go-to favorite black ink. So I'm going to ink up the stamp now with that. And then stamp that onto the front of the card. This is what I mean by like well-used stamps, like all that detail. Stamped perfection. Lerv. So we got the outside and then the inside. And we're going to do that with the second card base. So same thing, just using my little makeshift guide there. And then we're going to ink this up with that Nocturne ink. And there we go. Love, love, love. So I'm just going to do like a cursory wipe of this. I'll give it a proper cleaning with some stamp cleaner after I'm done filming, but this just kind of gets the bulk of it off. So we've got that. And then, of course, I want to add splatter. Of course I do. So I want to add some black splatter to the front of these. So I'm just going to reinforce the fold. And then I'm going to, sorry y'all, I literally got distracted. There was like a bird scrambling at the window of the garage here. I was like, what is that noise? Okay, black splatter for the win. So we're gonna set this in my splat box. I'm gonna get my little palette. I'm gonna add some black gouache. I already managed to get it on me. Not the end of the world. Oof. This stuff stains so quickly. Okay. Fan brush. There we go. I've got my gouache. Adding a bit of water to it to thin it down. And then we can add some splatter. I'm not adding a ton. Which is hard for me. But yeah, see, just a decent little amount, you know. So we got that. I'll set that one aside to dry. This is why I keep extra little pieces of like copy paper in my splat box so that I don't get smears if I'm doing more than one, which is quite often. So then I can add a bit of the splatter. There we go. So we just need to let that dry. That can get put away. The palette, you can technically let this just dry on here and re-wet it because gouache is water activated. Like you can reactivate it with water. I don't leave mine on this palette because once it's been thinned out with water, on the plastic, after it's dry, it will literally like flake off, which just makes a bigger mess. But you can, especially if you dedicate a little ceramic palette, anything, you can just keep using it until you use it up. Let it dry out, add water next time, rinse and repeat. That's fine. But for me, I just wipe it up because there's not really much there. And this is what I mean about how this stuff just stains. It's so pigmented, which is awesome. Anyway, so we had that. And then for like kind of the main focal point of the card, I pulled out the Exquisite Butterfly wafer die. So pretty. So I die cut it. I was like, where? There it is. I was like, from just white and black cardstock. And then for the body, I want to add some like really, really bright color to this. So I've got, because I use SEAFOAM on the inside, I've got Ocean, Royal, and Orchid Pawsitively saturated inks. And I want to go in with Orchid and just a blending brush. Like I said, I want this to be like, I want the color to be just bright. So I'll go in with the Orchid from the center, like the base of the petals, and then just work my way out a bit. And the blend doesn't need to be like, doesn't matter because I'm going to add those other two colors and then they're all going to blend together. So I got that. And then I want to do the ocean color from the edges. Like so. Like I said, I want vibrant. So add that. And again, I'm not worried because I'm going to add that final color in between. Just to give it a nice transition. So add that one. And that one. Okay, and now we go in with Royal. And this is where I'll be a little bit lighter handed. Just to be able to sort of blend in between those colors. So then we've got that transition. And then while I'm doing that, actually, I'll keep the orchid out. Just to encourage that blend in between. So Royal. In between. Like that. And then bring that orchid back. I'm just going to drag it out. Oh. Yes. Yes. And then we just got to repeat. That. Like that. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. I want just super, super vibrant. And I also want to go extra vibrant because I'm probably going to spray these with sparkle spray because can I resist that? Of course not. Okay. Blend that royal blue in between. Like that. Take that orchid. So I can kind of drag it through a bit more. And I'm not cleaning up my work surface in between. I'm not too concerned about any of these brushes sort of picking up the ink sitting on here, only because these are like similar colors that, you know, blend into each other nicely. If I was working with like yellows and pinks and stuff, then I'd be a lot more careful because I wouldn't want my yellow brush, you know, picking up any of the wrong colors and like messing up my brush. But with these colors, and also because I'm working with such dark, like intense colors, I'm just not concerned about it. Okay. Yes. So got that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Have that. I was gonna assemble these and then spray them, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna spray them as is and then assemble them so that just the color parts have the sparkle. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So, where did it go? There it is. My Tsukineko Imagine Crafts Sparkle Spray. Love this stuff so very much. Actually, this one's got a big bend in it. There we go. I've used it a ton in a ton of videos. The stuff sells out all the time. It gets restocked frequently. But yeah, it's just pure sparkle. There are other ones available. They've got a rose gold, a rose gold, one called Frost that is more of like a shimmery white in a sense. And is there a silver? I don't think so, because I think it's just sparkle. They're all really pretty. They just have a different sort of effect. The sparkle is definitely my favorite, but all of them are gorgeous, depending on what you're doing. So you just got to make sure you mix it up really well so that there's nothing sitting on the bottom, because the sparkle will settle and you'll see it. So you just got to shake it up really well. And then move that out of the way so I don't get sparkle on there. And then I hold my bottle, a foot or two above what I'm doing, and then just give it a few mists. With the spray. And then all I have to do is let this dry. And these are going to be so incredibly sparkly. I can't even. Which doesn't look like anything on camera. Let me turn my flashlight on so you guys can get a better idea of how this is supposed to look. Now I think you understand why I love this stuff so much. My inner magpie is so appeased. Sparkle spray, y'all. This is definitely, if you like the shimmer sparkliness like I do, this stuff is amazing. There is technically a refill you can get. That one has not been restocked at all. Like, they're having a hard time, I think, getting it in stock. I do have a refill bottle for this. Because this is a 2-ounce bottle, and then the refill is like 8 ounces. Yes. But yeah, I'm waiting for it to be restocked. I have used up over 2/3 of this bottle, and then I've got my refill for backup. But yeah, love. So I'm gonna let these pieces dry, and I'm also gonna wipe up. I managed to get the sparkle spray like everywhere. Not a big deal. I'm gonna let these dry, and I'll be back in a second to assemble them. Okay, everything is dry. Now let's start assembling these pieces. And I could have, like I said before I sprayed everything, I could have assembled and then sprayed. You could totally do that if you want the black to be all sparkly as well, which is also fun. Can't go wrong with that. But I just decided just to keep the black cardstock like this, just matte. I don't know, just so that the sparkle and the color is focused just, on the base of these butterflies. Because it's fun. So you don't need much glue to assemble these. There we go. Okay. Find the other piece. And yeah, I've been using and talking about this glue a lot. This is the Simon's Positively Perfect Craft Glue that they released like last month. And y'all, I'm really liking it. And all I've been using is this little tiny bottle. Like, I really didn't like putting my glue in those little bottles with the needlepoint tip that are also really popular. It worked fine and everything. I just found, and it again was probably because I use Craft Tacky glue, which is a very, very thick glue, like significantly thicker than this stuff. I love my Craft Tacky, but it's very thick, and a lot of people don't like it for that. I've been using that stuff for years. So the combination of that glue in a small bottle, I just found that, by the end of the day, my hands were like, my fingers were hurting so bad because, I like to stack my die cuts. Like I do a lot of gluing, and it hurt. Even the large bottle, like I was having difficulties. So then when it came out, I got the Precision Glue Press, which I've done a review on and shown that. That was a game changer for me. It made it just made my entire life easier. And it clogs all the time, just a given. And for me, the glue, like all my glues clog. Even this one technically clogs because I forget to put the lid on more often than not. However, I always keep just little pins in a pin cushion on my desk. And I just quickly unclog my glues For me, that's not a deal breaker at all, because literally every brand of glue I've ever used, every type of bottle I've ever used, they end up clogging. It just happens. I don't. That's a non-issue for me, because it just is. And it's quick and easy to fix. It'd be different if it was like clogging and I wasn't ever able to unclog it, you know? But boop, with the little pin and we're good. But anyway, Simon released this glue. I was skeptical because I was like, like, good luck trying to, good luck trying to make me switch from my craft tacky. And so far, you guys, I really am liking it. Like, who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Okay, so let me do that. And then the body. Don't need much. Just like that. And this is another time when the reverse tweezers come in super handy, because I can just pinch everything with the reverse tweezers and let that sit so that the glue can dry, and I can work on the next one. So same thing, add a little bit of glue, add a tiny bit to the back, press that into place like that, and then pinch with the reverse tweezers, put lid on glue, and then I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now this is the part where I need to be a little more careful, and I also need to, okay, it's dry on there. Good, okay, so I have my card front. I'm using CZ Designs Inside Greetings 1. Love. And I'm gonna line up a sentiment from it. Make sure it's straight. Stamp that with the Nocturne ink. Lovely. Do that with the second card. There we go. Love. Okay. And then wipe that off. On the inside of the cards, I'm going to use another sentiment from the set. I did manage to get the splatter on the inside. That's fine. There we go. And yeah, make sure that's straight. Ink that up. Love it. Love. It's another like must-have set. And because it says Inside Greetings 1, I'm very much expecting Kathy to come out with Inside Greetings 2 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 23. You know, like the more the merrier. I love having phrases and things to put on the insides of my cards. You guys know I love finishing the insides of my cards. So the more the better. Like, can never have enough sentiments in my world. So we've got that. And then we've got our butterfly. And I think I'm going to take some, there we go, black foam squares. And I'm just going to stick them towards the ends of the wings. And then I'm going to put glue just in the center so that butterfly like that. And then the foam squares, pop the wings up just a smidge. Just like that. Oh, I like this. Okay. And then we just need to repeat that with this one. So pop those foam squares onto it. And then put some glue, just like that. And then kind of press down with the center and then attach the little wings. Love. And you could leave it like this. You totally could. But you guys know, I have bling. Yeah. These are the Cool Tones Pawsitively Dazzling Gems. Yeah. Let's put just a few. Kind of like that. And then, yeah. Where's my, there it is. I was like, where's my embellishment wand? And where's my glue? There's my glue. Okay. So just a little bit of bling, nothing too crazy. So just pick it up with my little embellishment wand. Put down a dab of glue. And there we go. And then I just need to repeat that on the second card. I can switch it up a little bit just for funsies. That one. Here's a little one. Like that, and like that. And then rinse and repeat. Just a little dab of glue. That. That one, and finally that one. So again, put lid on glue. Put bling back in containers so that I do not flip that over with my elbow. And that, my friends, are the finished cards. And they are sparkly. Let me zoom in a little bit. Sparkly. Let me turn on my flashlight again. Okay. Oh. So we got some sparkle. And then my fabulous, beautiful flowers. It just makes a nice background, and the sentiments, and then the inside's all nice and finished as well. So like I mentioned in the intro, I'll have links to all of the things in the description box below. I'll also link to Carly's Instagram, since I was definitely inspired by her. So that'll be linked below as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting, letting the robot overlords know you like what you see. I appreciate it. It helps a ton. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!